100 days down and way too many to go. So what's the latest? Well, just Trump continuing to crop dust all of our world allies while gargling Putin's raisin purse. The Pope died without finishing the exorcism of J.D. Vance, and now we got to start all over again with a new guy. We got a recession incoming. The Oval Office has been replaced with a gift shop, and tired, poor, huddled masses are now so DEI that ICE arrested the Statue of Liberty.
That poor Lady Liberty. She had what looked like such big, strong feet. Vaya con migros, Libby. Torches and pitchforks time.
Oh, don't worry, we'll get there. Welcome to the Phoenix News Report. We've made it through 100 days of Trump's presidency in spite of his best efforts. So, what has he achieved?
For all the talk of a P-tape, the best way to sum up Trump's first 100 days is Trump shit the bed. And don't any of you dare try and defend him by saying he couldn't have shit the bed, he wears diapers. Ain't a Depends made that can hold back the flow of nutty crap he's coated our bedrock institutions with.
Now, in just 100 days, Trump has shit the bed of our economy. So naturally, he's blaming Joe Biden. But his egg prices, you say? Well, put that in one of her emails because those eggs cost even more now, along with literally everything else because of Trump's chaotic tariff tantrums. It's great news for everyone who hated COVID except for the part where we got to have fistfights in the toilet paper aisle.
U.S. ports are seeing fewer packages than your mom's puss, which is admittedly a high bar. Unlike your mother's clam dinner, U.S. ports are experiencing drastically reduced traffic following Trump's trade war with China. But, just like your mom's dripping meat canyon, economists and business leaders are optimistic traffic will resume after a productive round of amoxicillin, negotiations.
Now, Trump's goal with these tariffs is to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. And good news, Apple is planning on moving some of their iPhone production out of China to India. No one will be able to afford iPhones, of course, but go on with your bad self, India.
And you know what's a sure sign of a tremendous economy? Telling your kids about how much Christmas is gonna suck this year. You see, Trump has knocked it so far out of the park that, well, why not just play this next clip for your kids and watch their little faces light up?
Somebody said, oh, the shelves are going to be open. Well, maybe the children will have $2 instead of $30, you know? And maybe the $2 will cost a couple of bucks more than they would normally.
So you see, Timmy, unlike under that nasty President Biden when you could have 30 dolls, now creepy Uncle Trump made a deal to get you 2 dolls. Plus they cost more. You're welcome.
Let's not forget the smoldering turd that is Trump's Department of Government Efficiency. Run by Elon Musk and his sidekick, Big Balls, Doge has scoured the government in search of waste, fraud, and abuse. But instead of just firing themselves and calling it a success, they destroyed countless careers, undid decades of diplomacy, threw open the doors of our cybersecurity, and it looks like instead of saving money, they've ended up costing us $1 trillion. Mission accomplished.
Let's talk about how Trump also managed to shit the bed of international diplomacy next by cozying up to Russia and pissing off large swaths of Europe and Asia, along with our neighbors in Canada and Mexico. I mean, at least they're not like our biggest trading partners. Luckily, we've got the biggest and best military in the world. Sadly, Trump spent a lot of energy grunting out a steamer on the sheets in the form of Pete Hegseth. Secretary Pete has made returning a warrior ethos to the military his top priority. But then, instead of that, he broadcast our military plans to anyone who wanted to listen, and at least one reporter who didn't. Pete has managed to add a makeup room at the Pentagon, so if looks could kill, then maybe that would count as advancing a lethal fighting force. Hey, but don't worry. Trump gave old Pete a stern talking to.
Hey, Pete, so that thing that you did, not okay, but you know, don't do it again. Should be fine.
No, Pete's gonna get out of this. But his boy Michael Walls is gonna have to take the fall. And by take the fall, we mean be rewarded by becoming ambassador to the UN. I mean, don't you just love the smell of accountability in the morning?
But beyond all that, the Trump administration has pulled off something completely unbelievable because it's mathematically impossible. Secretary Barbie, Pam Bondi, used a cabinet meeting to congratulate Herr Trump on saving an unbelievable number of people from fentanyl.
3,400 kilos of fentanyl since you've been your last 100 days, which saved, are you ready for this, media? 258 million lives.
Now, just in case you didn't know, there are about 340 million humans total in America. So 258 million is about 76% of the whole damn country. Now, by this logic, the only thing stopping a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. But the good guy with a gun is also stopping the entire population of Pakistan.
Now, all of this hashtag winning is for some reason resulting in historically low poll numbers for the president. He's got the worst poll numbers anyone's seen in decades. So naturally, he wants an investigation. Well, since Republicans are working the polls this week, let's get our cash per diems out and welcome to the main stage, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Hey, y'all. Hey, sailor. Now, remember the house rules say no touching my gun or my guns. My boyfriend's the president, and he will deport you if you get too handsy.
Margie, I have invited you here to where your career will inevitably end up to ask you about the latest polls. They are quite sticky for you Republicans.
Yeah, and you know what? Those polls are really starting to chat my ass. The Republican Party has ruined our country's place in the world. We have destroyed the goodwill that we used to take for granted. And we tanked the economy. But for some reason, the poll numbers just keep going limp. I was telling all the other sausages at the party that if we don't start doing better, we're going to be left showing our whole asses come the midterms.
Gross. Gross. On all levels, gross. All right. Now, you guys seem to be flopping around limply on the world stage. Even Trump, the bottom bitch of the Republican Party, can't give enough handout jobs to raise the polls.
Now, to be fair, the crypto bros are throwing money at Trump like it's the first Friday of the month, okay? Plus, he's got a sugar daddy on the side who is big in the Russian mafia. So who really cares about working the polls when you can just sell your private's access to the highest bidder? Everyone knows you only need to work hard in the champagne room if you want to get ahead.
So, to sum up, you're saying that yes, the polls are cold right now, but that's just performing for the low-rent rubes anyway. For Republicans, it's the backroom deals with the guys looking to pay to play that matter.
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, listen, I gotta go. Because a guy calling himself Vlad Daddy wants to meet with the cameras turned off. And an NRA executive says he wants to shove his pork into my bill. Margie leaving the main stage. Caw-caw! Now, we've taken a look back at Trump's first 100 days, but what do the next 100 days have in store for us?
Jesus, that's a terrifying thought.
I know. For more, we turn to our chief future correspondent, Jenn Haston, who is coming to us live from Times Square 100 days from now. Jenn, what are you noticing?
Hi, Andrea. As you can see, we're here in Times Square and there's still plenty of ads. You can't really buy any of the things on the ads because they're all stuck on a port in Shanghai, so that's problematic. But the ads certainly are beautiful. In fact, I'm seeing right here, there's a Levi's ad. You can't really buy the jeans, but you can sure look at the ad, and isn't that serene and beautiful? The height of hotness, David Beckham. Whew, very hot, very hot. And he is selling Michael Kors. I would buy that. I would buy that in a heartbeat. I would. Except we can't actually buy. But the ad is good. The ad is nice. The ad is nice. Oh, okay. We have the Omega watch. Let's get a good look at that. The Omega watch. Useful when you're counting down to the end of the world. Also, it's time for me to eat. I need to go find a spoon. I mean, I don't have a spoon because there's nowhere to buy them. Maybe I could get a metaphorical... Nope, we're out of metaphorical spoons too. So, back to you in the studio, Andrea.
Now let's talk about immigration. And I know you don't want to talk about immigration because it's going to make you really mad. So here, have a picture of a kitten. Okay, you good? All right, check this out. In an embarrassing interview with ABC News' Terry Moran, Donald Trump insisted that this image of Kilmar Abrego Garcia's finger tattoos shows the characters MS-13 tattooed above the actual stuff on his fingers. No, seriously, Donald Trump thinks all of that is tattoos.
And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute.
Well, wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the
do that.
letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
That was photoshopped. So let me
That was Photoshop, Terry. You can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. I picked you, Terry. Hey, but you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
As an inked up non-gang member myself, I am horrified by our nation's flamin' hot shame. Anyone can see that those characters were superimposed over a photo of Mr. Garcia's finger tattoos to try and make it seem like that's what those symbols stand for. No one's even mentioning the fact that the iconography of those symbols is clear as day. Here. Oh, and in case any world leaders are confused, I used a computer to alter a photo of Mr. Garcia's finger tattoos. Thanks, Art Degree.
Now, that was absurd, but it gets worse. Here's the kitten again. On Meet the Press, Marco Rubio and Tom That Ho Homan defended the deportation of the citizen children of immigrants in Louisiana, saying that their mother chose to take them with her after the family was detained during a routine check-in and held by ICE agents. A man who has absolutely endured obvious jokes because of his last name, Homan, even added that it's the mother's fault for having a child in the first place, presumably while a GOP staffer was busy adding asterisk after asterisk to the party's pro-life stance. The obvious brutality and stunning hypocrisy of arresting a family who were following immigration rules aside, what was the choice here? Take your children with you or leave them with the dudes who just kidnapped you? You may as well be dropping your kids off with Ghislaine Maxwell and Casey Anthony for a fun plane ride followed by some spa time. This isn't a rock and a hard place decision. This is a rock and a blast furnace decision. Here, kitten time.
But it gets even worse. Rubio and Homan were defending themselves extra hard because Rolling Stone reported that they had deported some kids with cancer. Now our writers were going to do a joke that was something like, man, Trump's deporting everybody. What's next? Cancer babies? But we scrapped that because it was a little too on the nose. Then they actually started deporting cancer babies. We've now gone from on the nose to up the nose. We are a deviated septum.
Alex Jones! Sorry, just wanted to do a jump scare. But this next sentence is worse. Alex Jones has said, Trump has gone too far.
Yeah.
On an episode with self-described white supremacist and incel Nick Fuentes, because Jones can't break character that much, Alex Jones has called Trump's plans to deport American citizens, quote, unconstitutional and really bad.
And I am sorry, but Alex Jones, a man whose colorful career features fundraising for a new Branch Davidian compound, selling more snake oil than an evangelical preacher to people who would later go on to die with COVID, and saying dead kids are fake. Even he thinks Trump is off the rails. We only hope that all this wackiness ends and Jones can go back to his true passions, amphibian sexuality and 30-pound buckets of apocalypse-proof chili.
But there was one immigration story that really made us want to burn it all down. So with a little help from our friends at Sunshine Alchemist and Soap Company, here's our new segment, Burn It All Down. Now let's start out by lighting our Burn It All Down candle. There we go. And please note that we do not endorse actually burning anything down that isn't a candle. Okay, we are really worked up about this next story, but our tempers are going to be tempered by the beautiful scent of this candle from Sunshine Alchemist. They're a wonderful company that hires women escaping domestic violence, and they make awesome products that are safe and healthy, kind of like the stuff that RFK Jr. pretends to care about. And let me tell you, this smells amazing.
That smells like righteous indignation. You know, this would go great next to my Rachel Maddow nightlight. I must have one.
Okay, time to get mad. Now let's talk about a family in Oklahoma, a mom and her 3 daughters who had their home raided by ICE. 20 men, armed to the teeth, burst through the door of their new home and made them all wait outside in the rain without letting them get dressed first. We are talking minor girls outside in the rain in their underwear.
Okay. Smell the candle. All right. A little bit of toasted marshmallow there. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, that's better. Okay. Now, when the mom told them that they weren't the people that were listed on the warrant, that didn't stop the officers from tearing apart every bit of their house looking for evidence. And even after realizing that they had raided the wrong people, they still seized the family's phones, laptops, and cash anyways. And they have no idea where their stuff ended up or how to get it back because none of them would give mom a business card.
Okay, now I know you're probably really pissed off right now, but instead of starting an actual fire, here's what you're gonna do. When I'm pissed, I light this bad bitch up and I call my representative for his daily dress down. Then my little friend and I go down to the protest vigil because she's good for 48 hours of not backing down. So why not use the 5 Calls app to contact your representative and tell them that you'd like a little do with your process. Then call your state's attorney general. Remind them that there's a constitution that they need to follow. And 3, donate some money to the ACLU because we're guessing their caseload is a little extra full right now.
Here's a not so fun fact. The owner of Sunshine Alchemist once got raided with her family in this very same manner. Now she has channeled her rage into helping women and making her line of Rebellious Women candles. Good example, we're gonna follow it. So why not light your candle, enjoy a little moment of peace, and then get to work burning down the BS.
Here's a handy QR code. Why not check out the wonderful business these badasses made? I'm gonna get me that Chingatumaga candle and maybe a bottle of Lavender Love organic milk bath. Mama needs his de-stressing too. Let's turn now to some elections happening around the globe. Great news for fans of democracy, Canada is still nice.
Well, Austin, Canadian nice can be a strange thing. Check out this one Canadian's take on their election, which had a lot to do with Donald Trump.
I think who I voted for would be the best to take care of Trump. Because Trump is, I'm sorry to say, an ass.
Wow, she even managed to get in an I'm sorry. Damn it, they really are better than us. Which is why we have to constantly make fun of those maple slurping moose humpers.
Or, as they might say in Toronto, enculé de l'un buveur d'érable.
Les Canadiens democracy-ed the Liberal candidate Mark Carney as their new PM, and he wasted absolutely no time in addressing the elephant in the basement. Hot on the heels of Trump's embarrassing message to Canadians before the election, where he once again tried to force himself on people without their consent, PM Carney made clear that his country has many better options than the U.S. under Trump.
It sounds like Prime Minister Carney is going to make a terrific and timely leader for Canada. I'm rating his first week as PM as an A.
Now let's head to the Vatican. Donald Trump, who is definitely a Christian, has a bright idea for who should be the next pope. And it's extremely predictable.
As Pope? I'd like to be Pope. That would be my #1 choice.
And why not? He's used to living amongst gaudy excess and gold everything. He seems down with preying on youngsters, and he has his own Bible. He also thinks that he deserves at least 10% of everyone else's money.
Lindsey Graham quickly offered his support for this insane notion when no one asked him. Inquisitor Graham, who is not Catholic, pointed to Trump's lifetime of experience being both unqualified and undeserving of having the things he got. Next, he can fail up to heaven.
Now, sadly for us and all the Catholics, Trump changed his mind about the whole thing when he learned that the Pope left all of his money to prisoners. Come on, Pope. Don't just give it away. Sell some merch. Make them work for it. And now it's time for my new favorite segment, Boat News. Pro tip, if you've already screwed up, do try and make the best of it. Like the Freedom 1 racing team and their speedboat, which managed to catch over 30 feet of air at around 200 miles an hour. A truly epic screw up that occurred close enough to the end of the race that they still managed to cross the finish line and come in first. The two racers inside the boat were only a little banged up somehow. So, guys, you available for a presidential run? I think that you've got what America both wants and needs. Batshit craziness mixed with an extremely well-made safety net.
While making the world's sharpest turn to avoid a Houthi missile, a U.S. aircraft carrier turned so hard it was skirting on one side, and a $60 million FA-18 Super Hornet fighter jet fell into the sea, where it has been lost ever since. Great, now Aquaman has to go get that thing back from Black Manta. Also, Mike wrote a song about this.
F-A-A-T Super Hornet fighter jet. F-A-A-T Super Hornet fighter jet. It's a jet that can do anything. Huge part of the U.S. Navy. USS Harry Truman started turning. Super Hornet fighter jet fell into the sea. F-A-A-T Super Hornet fighter jet.
Close your eyes and take a deep breath. In and out. Imagine that you are ascending high into the sky, high enough to scale the great Mount Fuji in Japan. You get to the top. Perhaps you found a hot spring in the wild. Imagine yourself bathing in the warm water atop a snowy mountain. Imagine you finish and then, uh-oh.
You get stuck and you have to be rescued. But now you're back to safety and you can breathe a sigh of relief, except, oh, dang it, you left your phone all the way up Mount Fuji. Now you gotta go all the way back up there and get it. For some reason, it's not like you couldn't buy another one. Anyway, there you go, climbing again to get the phone, and dang it, you forgot your crampons. Not tampons, crampons. Those are the spikes that you put on your climbing shoes for more traction. Anyway, you can't get down, so it's a good thing you had your phone, so now a helicopter can come save you again. Namaste.
And now, it's time for some boner news.
Good news, Austin. Researchers have developed a form of male birth control that lasts for up to 2 years with just 2 quick injections.
Hey, that's fantastic. I mean, finally dudes can be irresponsible while boning. The long night's over.
So, you think guys will actually get these shots?
Oh, absolutely. We've been waiting for something like this forever. Nothing could prevent this from being the next big thing in male sexual health. Like, nothing.
Just one real quick, teeny tiny detail though. The 2 shots are into your nutsack. They inject hydrogel into your boy tubes.
No way. Back to the drawing board with you, science. Not worth it.
Not worth it?
You women's will never understand our pain.
Yeah, right. It's not like I once had a 9-pound baby sawed out of my guts or anything. Fucking snowflake.
Speaking of not needing birth control, during an interview with a homeless man pretending to be 73-year-old coach Bill Belichick, we and he learned that he will not be discussing his relationship with his 24-year-old girlfriend.
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
No?
No.
It's a topic neither one of them is comfortable commenting on.
See, I get this. She didn't sign up to have her life put under the microscope. She just wanted to share a loving relationship with an extremely wealthy yet weirdly disheveled older man who never left college. And when you're a former cheerleader dating a doughy man of late retirement age, of course you don't want anyone to know the hows and whys of how you started hooking up.
Because there's like no way that's exactly a heartwarming story of love.
Yeah, and we all know that already. Yes, very certainly. Personally, the fewer details that I know about it, the better I'll not throw up later.
Well, speaking of being sexually grossed out, the word on the street is that Meta, owner of Facebook, Insta, and WhatsApp, has been using its thick and powerful AI to create romantic companions that owner Mark Zuckerberg believes will revolutionize the industry. I mean, I'm not sure which industry, but some industry.
As with all things AI, many of Meta's employees are worried about digital homunculi they've created, believing that these digital companions will talk sex with children. Yes, today's children. Won't somebody think of the children? who likely know more about sex than their parents as they've all mastered butt stuff under mom and dad's noses. And now it's time for news from the animal kingdom. In some news that gives me very mixed feelings, a handler at the New York Zoo uses a sock puppet to feed a baby vulture. On one hand, I love all the effort and sweetness that they put into feeding the little guy. Aw, to that. On the other hand, I can't help but feel like this is a video that the Skeksis from the Dark Crystal would jerk off to.
Now, we spend a lot of time bagging on Florida men. But one Florida man actually did something pretty cool this week when he jumped into an alligator-infested lake to rescue an injured bald eagle. Now, this is all the more impressive when you see how much the bald eagle was giving him big fuck you energy. Florida man, we owe you an apology. Yes, you're often engaged in a meth-fueled crime spree, but sometimes you are patriotic as hell. Florida man, we salute you.
This has been news from the animal kingdom.
Guys, something very alarming has happened that may indicate a tear in the fabric of space and/or time.
Oh God, what now?
Something wholesome and good happened.
Wait, what the fuck? That's not how things work here.
I know, it's weird. So, Ted Cruz and Amy Klobuchar co-sponsored a bill.
Oh, no, there is definitely a black hole about to suck us up. That is weird.
I know. It's a bipartisan bill that requires porn sites to take down revenge porn. And pretty much everyone on both sides voted for it.
That is an objectively good thing. Oh God, what is this weird feeling? It's so unsettling.
That's hope.
Oh.
I know you haven't felt it ever since like early November,
Oh.
but it's kind of cool once you get used to it.
Wow. Okay. Good news. I don't know what to do with myself right now, but cool. Nice. Like, what do I do with my hands? Is this right?
I mean, sure. Whatever.
Should I put them together?
I don't have a lot of experiences with this myself.
I don't really. Before we go, we have some good news here at the Phoenix. Our own Jenn Haston is graduating with her master's degree. Jenn has been working full-time at a real job. She's been working here at her fake news job. She's been parenting. She's been getting her degree, writing a book, and still finding time to make the world a better place. Jenn, you are a total badass, and we are so fucking proud of you.
Jenn, you are a bright and shiny star, which is why we all look up to you. What you have done, what you are doing, it's beyond amazing. I want to be you when I grow up. But for now, I'm just going to steal one of those graduation caps and be you for next Halloween. Hey, Jeremy, you in for like a couple's costume thing? Because call me.
And here is a message from our writer, Zach. Hi, Jenn. It's your favorite disembodied writer here, and if it wasn't before, it is now. I heard you were graduating college, and I think that is both chill and rad. It is perhaps even skibbity, if I knew what that meant. In any case, all of us are proud of you and excited to see what comes next. Pop a bottle, girl. You earned it.
And finally, our own Mike Dynamo has whipped up a little something to celebrate.
Hey, Jenn. I heard that you graduated, and I think that is just extraordinary. So I want you to give yourself a round of applause. You did it. You did it. And it's important that you recognize that no matter what anyone says to you. Uh-huh. 25.
Congratulations, Jenn! That is all for this week, but come back and see us again next week. Love you.
Bye. To do the titles, it's CNN.
So, hey, can you give us a little James Earl Jones?
Let me see what I got here.
Okay.
No, I am your father.
There we go. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Little Barry White?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay. A little Isaac Hayes, perhaps?
Ooh, shit.
You know any Isaac Hayes? Little Shaft from South Park?
All right, let me think. I got a good one. I can't remember any of the Shaft parts of it. He's one bad mother.
Shut your mouth.
I'm just talking about Shaft here.